Coming up on today's episode. Good day, YouTube. Here we are at the computer once more. We are looking at the what I was hoping would be the solution to my Ranger Bluetooth problem, but this picture only addresses part of the problem. This gets me around the fact that the radio and the amplifier on the Ranger is tied together with a jumper, but it does not provide power for the Bluetooth. In other words, you can't do both using a double pole, double throw switch. Believe me, I have tried. I went through several rackings of my brain trying to get this done with a simple double pole, double throw switch, but it turns out that you cannot control independently 3 different items with a double pole, double throw switch. To that end, what we need to do is this, and let me show you. Alright, the one you're looking at now, I've basically taken the power supply section of the Ranger and basically made it all one picture where you can see the whole thing all at once. Now, for this particular iteration of my thoughts on this, I have not broken this line here. As you can see, it is still in place, but what I have done is broken the amp line going here, which in actuality does exactly the same thing for our purposes. Now, if you look at this, this is a 3-pole double throw switch. Now, I do not have one of those, but I do have a 4-pole double throw switch. And some of you may recall this, but I bought that for the dual DC power supply 2, which was in use a very brief time before I switched to the one in the MFP, which provides basically what I wanted all along. But anyway, suffice to say, I don't need that one anymore, so I will use it for this purpose here. Because again, you cannot control 3 different lines with a double pole switch. Let me show you now what we've got here. This line here has been broken, okay? And we've got it turned into a switch. Now this switch is shown with the BT on, the Bluetooth is on. So when it's off, as you can see, this line will be connected here, and both of these power options here will be down to nothing. There will be nothing connected but the original. In other words, it would take this back right like it was originally. So that makes the radio, or I'm sorry, the tape player radio function as it always has. In other words, you have to turn the radio on to get the radio to play, or you stick a tape in to get the tape to play. And that's all the difference you have to know about that. So with this option, as you can see, we'll run through it real quick, saying it is off. Again, if it's in tape position, in other words, if the radio switch is off, it comes down here and powers this up. This line here is powered up, but if it's in off position, it would be down here going absolutely nowhere. Nothing is connected. So that has nothing to do with anything, won't power up anything, and it's just the same as it not being there. But as soon as you turn the radio on, and we get power here to this line, which comes down because this is going this way now. It's going through here. It will power up the amp, and also it will come down here, and if we follow this over, power up the radio. So that is exactly the way it's supposed to work. Now, if we turn the radio off, again back down here, we have no power coming in here, and we slide in a tape into the player, the tape switch is activated and it goes down to tape. And that, with again the Bluetooth off, makes power come into here to the amplifier right here, and that gives our amplifier power. And if we come down here, this is now switched over to the tape position, and does not give the radio power anymore. So it goes down here and powers the motor on the tape player, and the solenoid for switching. All that stuff is all on this lower part here. So everything works as it is intended to work. But again, we are trying to control three different things. We're trying to control this line here, make or break the connection here, and we are trying to provide power for the amplifier, and we are trying to power the Bluetooth. Now I played around with the notion that you could power up both the Bluetooth and the amps together, but you can't do that, because if you do, then the Bluetooth is on all the time, and you could be playing tape or the radio, and the Bluetooth would still be active. And I don't know that would harm anything, but at the same time, it would cause problems, or in my book it would anyway, because if you happen to hit the button there and turned it on or something like that, it would be a chaos. So again, like I say, that is what we're going to do there. Now I have one more picture to show you. All right, this is the other picture I wanted. You may recall again this from the dual DC 2, dual DC power supply 2, I should say. This was the 4-pole switch that I bought, the double throw 4-pole, and this is the one I'm going to be using now with the Ranger, because I only really need 3, but I don't have a 3, I have a 4, so rather than to buy a 3, I thought I would just use the 4 and not use one of the legs of the switch. So that is what it's going to be, basically how the switch will work. As you saw in the other diagram, we'll go back to that real quick. And as you can see in this diagram, we're only using 3 poles. So that works out just the same. Like I say, just one won't be used. But that's what we need, 3 poles, because Bob and I went through I don't know what, but you just can't do it with 2. And trust me on that. And so that's going to be that. And like I say, I found the panel with that switch on it, and I've got to take it off and remove the wires from it and do things like that. But I'm not going to unsolder them. I'm just going to leave the leads on it, and that way I can just use connectors and heat shrink tubing and things like that, and just wire it in for this. Now this doesn't have to be done right away, because first thing I'm going to do is basically connect it all up in the car and make sure everything works as intended. The speakers, the Kenwood speakers, are out for delivery today, supposedly, and if they are delivered, I will have those. I am hoping that there is a template provided for the cutouts on those. I know they used to be. Now things have changed, obviously, since I was last time I messed with 6x9 speakers, but they used to have a template in there where you could just lay it on whatever you were cutting out and basically cut it out and trace it out. And I'm hoping that's provided. If not, I'm going to have to find one online somewhere and try to do that. But again, that's my plan on that. So anyway, I just thought we would go over this real quick and explain. I know I've done a lot of explaining on this project, but I just didn't think when I was originally coming up with this of powering that Bluetooth, but it has to have power as well. And I do have some 4-conductor wire coming for this project, and also the audio cable that I will use. And I have decided not to use RCA jacks. For one thing, the connections in a car tend to loosen up over time, and I just soon, come out that back hole that I put the rubber grommet around, and there's plenty of room in it. And like I said, I'll just come out that hole, and we'll go from there. And I'll just run the wire. The wire is, I think, 6 feet long, the one I've got coming, so it should be plenty long. And it's a basically 2 conductors with a shield around both conductors. It's a stereo cable is what it is, 1/8-inch connector on one end, the other end is bare, but there's basically 2 conductors inside. That'll be our right and left channel, and the shield will go around there and plug in to that as well. Now let me see if I've got that where I want to show you how that's going to be wired in. All right, there's the basically what the wiring will look like as far as that's concerned. The shield wire will go to ground on the Ranger, and left channel will go to this upper channel here, number 61. Right channel here will go into 82 here, which we've already proven that works, and that's the way that will work. Now, actual connection, what it's going to look like is this. As you can see here in this illustration, the to the Bluetooth module output is this black wire here. Again, comes down with the red wire going to the left. I know that's wrong in our present day situation because red is always right. But in this case, we're going to just keep our same wiring colors to keep it simple. And white goes over to the right, as this is a white one also. That goes to the radio, and that's exactly where it connects. The shield will go right here in the middle. That is the ground for the radio and for the tape player, which is either side there. And so you can see that's how that will be wired. Now, as far as on the module, let's go take a look at that real quick. All right, now we're here at the Bluetooth module to Ranger stereo wiring diagram that I made up. As you can see, let's do the audio first. The shielded audio cable that goes between the Ranger and the Bluetooth board is this one here. And there are, again, this is the shield. The gray is the shield wire, comes down to the ground, connects to the middle terminal of the output from the Bluetooth, the stereo output. The red is right on the Bluetooth module as per normal with today's stuff. Yellow is left. So on our situation, because our red is left, we have to do it this way. And we connect the yellow to the red there. That goes over to the Ranger and connects it up to the amp board. And that's where we want it. And the same thing to the white one. The white one connects to the red, which is right on here. And everything is hunky-dory. Now, that's the amp or the audio sections. Now, for the 4-wire cable that comes from the Ranger for power connections and the switch, as you can see, we have our 3-pole double throw switch in line here now. It says double pole, but this is actually a 3-pole. I have got to change that for the diagram, but you know, I didn't get everything done all at once. So let's start with the bottom one here. The white wire, as we look up here, comes from the amp power supply side of the amp wire. Now that means on the diagram where the sources are for the amp wire and things like that. In other words, that powers the rest of the amp parts. And that's what side that is. Now the green wire is the other wire for that. And that's the main switch side of the amp wire. That's the one where the jumper goes between the two terminals. And that's what that connects to. So basically, the white wire comes down here, and with the Bluetooth on, which it is right now, it runs through a jumper up here to this terminal. And as you can see, with it on, it gets power from the power coming in on the red wire, which is the empty terminal on the radio switch, and that is 12 volts when the radio is off. So that should be a good source for our 12 volts. And again, that gives you power going to the amp, the PS side, or the power supply side. And in other words, that powers up the amp on the Ranger. And as you can see, this one doesn't connect because it's up here. And again, the rest of the wires is also common with this one here, which gives the Bluetooth its power. So for this situation, the amp and the Bluetooth are both powered up at the same time. Now, turn the Bluetooth switch off, and now we have the green one connected down here to the white. That is the normal situation for the Ranger to be in from the factory. Here's the connection there, okay? But now if we look at the red wire coming up here, which if the radio is still off, it is 12 volts, but once it goes down here, there is absolutely nothing that it touches. Again, same place up here, nothing it touches. So nothing is on from that, and that means that the Bluetooth is not receiving power when the Bluetooth is off, which is normal. I would hope. So that pretty much explains all of that, and I think you can understand from that basically it's going to work right this time, hopefully. And I always put the hopefully in because, I've been through this so many different times now that, sometimes it does work and sometimes it doesn't. So, it just is what it is. But anyway, we got some things to show you that we got in the mail yesterday, and those are the items that I had bought from eBay, and we'll take a look at those next. All right, we are at the bench now, and as you can see in front of you on there, this is the Sparkle-Matic. We'll turn it up there as you can see the name, Sparkle-Matic. This is the adapter to play cassettes and an 8-track. Now it comes in its own little carrying case. Let's look at the end here. You got fast, forward, stop, and play. And that's pretty darn simple. I may go ahead and hook this up just like it is into our player and see if it still works. I think I'd be curious to know if it does. And let's see if we can get this out of the package. I'll cut some of this out if it takes too long, because I know yesterday when I took it out, it took a while to get out of there. But this is not going too bad, I think. There we go. It's an actually pretty darn good shape as far as that goes. And it's a good solid player. As you can see, it's a metal bottom. And if we look at our ends, just exactly what it's supposed to be. You got a spring-loaded head-to-head contact there. This is a rubber wheel to make your cassette go. And if you see when I'm turning that, the drive on the cassette is spinning. So that works. And I'm sure if you put it in fast forward or whatever play, it would make the other device, that's play. So now both the capstan and that is playing. So yeah, it works. Now it doesn't have a rewind, obviously, but fast forward, everything else seems to be working fine. Well, I've got it in a neutral position or something. Anyway, like I said, this is not really concerning us. We're not going to be using that. The only two items we'll be using is this and this. Now these are also spring-loaded, as you can see. You push in and out, and they make contact with the selector switch, which gives you 12 volts to this, and that will work really nice. And like I said, when we mount a Bluetooth, our tape player or our 3D printed cassette, what am I trying to say? Our 3D printed 8-track box will have a larger on this end to accommodate the MP3 or the Bluetooth module, and we'll go from there. But like I said, this end will obviously fit into the what do you call it, and there will be provisions to put the metal bottom, which all of the these things are mounted onto. So it will work really good. I'm very pleased with the way that is as far as how good a shape it is. Looks like it was well taken care of. Like I said, it's still got the little pouch with it and everything. So I'm very pleased with that indeed. So I think we really got a good buy for whatever it was I paid, $6.99, something like that. It wasn't much. And like I said, that's that. Now the other item that came in is our booster amp, 40-watt sound exploder audio box. And there's your power switch. You can see that. And all your wires are in the back. We'll have to, there's several of these that's got the legend on them back here in the back, I think. It tells what each wire goes, the color wire, and what it's for, and things like that. We'll get a copy of that, make sure that we've got that. I can see one that right there, blue one, and this one here are really short. So we'll have to add some extensions to those, I'm sure. So, but like I said, that won't be a hard thing to do. I'm anxious to see if this actually works too, so that would be kind of neat. We might even hook that up in here. We've got 12 volts. We could do it. So, all right, there's your two things that came in the mail yesterday. I did get some other things, but they were business related, and so we won't even bother with those. But now this is the switch I was talking about. Now, as it turns out, I must have not gotten around to changing that out because I was making changes to that so fast because we were on the brink of making the new MFP and having the DC power supply in it, which is how it turned out. So this one only has a 2-pole. Actually, it is. It's weird because it's actually got a center off because that would make it 3-pole. Or three turned, or however you say that, because it goes from one position to the other to the other. There's 3 positions it goes, so it would give you 1, 2, and 3 here, but it's only got 2 poles. That's what I was trying to say. So this is not going to work. We need the one with the 4 poles, and I've got it here somewhere. It's probably in the box that was marked DDC PS. And I've got that box around here somewhere. But again, I know I bought 2 of those because you couldn't. I think I bought 2 of these as well. You could only buy them in lots of 2. That's the only way they came. So I had to buy both of them. I was hoping it would be a simple 2-position switch where you could operate them like that. But it's not a big deal. For time being, we can use that type of switch. I may look online and see if there is one that's just a 2-position rotary type that you can switch, between 2 positions, and that would make that better as well. So, all right, that's going to do me, I think, because I don't really have anything else going on. Weather is kind of partly sunny, partly cloudy. It did rain earlier, I think. And still rather mild for the time, I think. Yesterday got up to 60-something, but today I don't think it's going to be quite that warm. Supposed to be in the 50s, I believe. So, like I said, that's what we're looking at here at the bench today. I've got to, as soon as I get done with this, got to put 3... Well, actually, I've got the kits put together, but I've got to get them ready to mail and drop those off at the post office. So that'll be my fun. And... So, anywho, that's that. Oh, here's the I like to show this for Bill. Bill just loves the stripes on this. You remember this, Bill? But yeah, this is the original, the DDS-PS, and this is where that switch just came from. And like I said, this was worked in its time. It worked well. But I wanted the original one, like Bill was talking about. That's the kind of that I made with the transformer that goes up to, I think, 600-something volts, and that's the better one to have because it gives you all the radio voltages you need. So, anywho, that's that. Again, I like I say, I'm expecting the speakers from Amazon today, and I think they are coming via Amazon, the Amazon truck. So once they'll get here, I may look into them and see if they've got that template in there and try to make a cardboard. So I want to make a cardboard from the paper one they provide, and then hopefully they provide, I should say. But they're available online. You can find them. And I just have to print it out with my printer. But, like I say, that's no big deal either. But and then cut out the cardboard from that, and then I can take the cardboard and place it where I need to on the Buick package tray, and use a marker to mark that out and the holes as well, and then basically cut that out with, again, my Dremel and a cutoff wheel. I think I've got that sitting here. Well, I don't have the cutoff wheel, but it's basically a little abrasive wheel, fits on the Dremel, and, it takes a little while to cut them out that way, but it sure beats laying on your back trying to saw underneath the package tray from the trunk. So besides that, I think my trunk's kind of full. So I think at one time or another, when I decided I wasn't working on the Buick anymore, just put all the parts that I had, extra parts and everything, in the trunk and the back seat, because I know the back seat has a lot of stuff in it. So anywho, that's that, and I'm going to get off here and get some other stuff done. I've got some other videos planned for coming up soon here. In addition to what we're seeing here, again, I've told you about the radio coming in and the Bluetooth module. This is the other one that came in from China the day before yesterday, I believe, or yesterday. On yesterday. But anyway, that one's directly from China, and like I said, that's the one that we'll probably put in that GE, and we'll go from there. I don't know that it's going to fit, but we're hoping it will. And if it doesn't, I have other ones as well. I used to have a bunch of these that had the digital display on them. Actually told you the frequency of the radio and things like that. That might be a better one to have anyway. So, all right, gonna get off here and get some other stuff done. And you guys have a great day. Thank you so very much for watching, and we will see ya.